there guys, welcome to today's video. I would just like to briefly say, if you do enjoy today's content, if you could please leave a like and a comment, as well as subscribe and hit that notification bell, that would be hugely appreciated. You can follow us on Twitter at The Fight Queen, and catch us live on Twitch Mondays, Wednesdays and Thursdays from 7 PM to 9 PM GMT, and again from 11 PM to 2 AM GMT. So with that out of the way, I really do hope you guys enjoy this video, and let's get right into it, shall we? So today's game plan is all about beating up this guy's body. We have faced him before on another account, so we remembered his strategy and his game plan, and it was very much stick to the head, throw hooks and haymakers and overhands, with the odd leg kick, to try and drop my guard and finish me out very quickly. So, with knowing that would be his strategy, I was able to employ the easiest counter, really, which is bodywork. So, I did beat his body and eventually go for a beautiful takedown, which really did some damage to the body. And from here, we can really begin to beat away at not only the body, but the stamina. The stamina is the huge thing. I know I tell you guys this quite a lot, but my game plan 9 times out of 10 with opponents always revolves around beating down their stamina bar, making sure that I have more than they do. Right there, he gets a good transition fake through to a transition and manages to pull me over. Unfortunately though, he immediately then tried to posture up, which is a bad move, because the first thing your opponent's going to do is look to block that posture up and immediately reverse your transition. And that's exactly what I do. He made the unfortunate mistake, and it allows me to get straight back into half guard and get back to work. And unfortunately for him, his entire stamina bar has now been drained as a result of that transition reversal. So it's purely down to me now to just continue to beat up that body and keep that stamina bar of his low for the rest of the round. So that's pretty much the game plan here. We're just trying to beat him up, make sure that stamina bar doesn't get too close to full. Land a nice elbow there. We're continuing to just beat him as much as possible. I would have thought he would have gone for another fake at this point, but I think he was beginning to panic a little. I think he was worrying a lot about the stamina, and so he just kind of wanted to get out of there. He does manage to get the first transition, but I block his second one, and I think we finished the round in mount from here. I could have, by all rights, finished the fight here and took him out, but I kind of wanted to finish it on the feet if I could, rather than the ground. I want to, if possible, use the ground for more leading to the knockout, as opposed to getting the knockout on the ground. So, yeah. We finished the round on top. Easy 10-9 round, if not a 10-8. And, well, I'll see you guys in the second round. Quick tidbit I will mention here. What is it with this game and always preferring replays of stand-up game as opposed to ground game? All the ground game I landed on him, and the replays prefer to show 2 body kicks that he landed and 1 body kick that I landed. I don't know. It's weird. In reality, you'd think the reversal would have been shown and my body strikes and maybe one of his body kicks would have been shown. Oh well. It's by the by. Into round 2, the game plan largely remains the same. However, I want to back off the ground game a little bit. I will still employ it, don't get me wrong, but I definitely don't want to finish the fight on the ground, so I want to keep things on the feet a little bit more. He does land a good overhand there. In fact, he lands 2 of them. And at this point, he's trying to do what is probably the best idea for him, really, which is try to counter me with uppercuts and beat my block down. He does get a good couple of uppercuts there, but unfortunately his chin is just too low, so when I return with my uppercut, it just straight drops him. He eats another couple of body strikes here, There's the second. At this point, he's coming in with nothing but the jab, really trying to beat down that block and go with an overhand to try and rock me, try and kind of bring the momentum of the fight back into his favour, which is definitely a good strategy, but his head and body are a little bit too low at this point. So now I can just switch things up, go body, head, body, head, body, body, head, head, and done. We're finished. And there's the fight, guys. Really do hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did playing it. It was very, very enjoyable. Very enjoyable finish as well. Definitely liked the way I fought in that fight. I've got to say, I love the animation on the second strike here from Glover Texeira. It's very Bruce Lee-esque in the way he flicks it from the elbow. Very good. I like that animation. But regardless, yeah, I shall see you guys in the next fight in just a few short seconds. So, here we are with fight number 2 against Wanderlei Silva. Now, as opposed to the previous fight where I knew who I was going up against and therefore knew their game plan, with this guy, I don't really know what he's going to pull out. So, without knowing the guy's game plan, I don't really want to press so much as I did in that fight. So with this one, I'm keeping my distance a little bit more, keeping my guard up a little bit more, and firing off the jab to kind of get reactions from him and gauge what kind of fighter he is. So from around about here, around about the 40-second mark in, I begin to realise that, okay, he's a straight-up brawler. This guy wants to constantly come forward, press and press, stay in the pocket, throw huge strikes to really sort of beat the block and break your guard and take your head health down as quick as possible. So with these guys, I find more often than not a big disadvantage of them because they like to press forward so much and they like to keep you on the back foot. They are expecting you to be on said back foot and therefore to be moving back. So as a consequence of that, they are constantly moving forward and constantly pressing forward on the analog stick, which means if you decide rather than to step back, meet their pressure and stand your ground and plant your feet instead of moving forward with them or moving back with them,
get ready to rage quit.
Your planted strikes will come out twice as quick as their moving strikes, and therefore you will land and you will do damage and you will get the drops and the rocks and so on and so forth. Just as you've seen here, it's pretty much exactly that.
Come for a ride.
I managed to land off some good hooks which got him moving back, going up against the fence, and from there we're able to implement a bit of the ground game and begin to get to work, really. Give me, guys, 1 second. Just gonna have a quick drink there as I continue to commentate. At this point, we are trying to beat him up as much as possible, really do some damage, zap away at that stamina, so that the finish becomes easier. As I've told you guys before, the less stamina they have, the less they can move around, the less strikes or the fewer amount of strikes that they can block and successfully get away with eating, and therefore the finish just becomes a hell of a lot easier to obtain. So at this point we're trying to concentrate on transition blocking, but he does manage to get out. I stick him back to the ground, and from here I believe he manages to get 1 or 2 more exits, because the guy is being very, very tricky, or at least he's being trickier than the last opponent, should I say, in the way that he's trying to not escape in the same direction every time. He is instead trying to switch things up a little bit, move into half guard, move into full guard, try and move into overmount. I can't remember exactly what the term is. That sort of term that he's moving into there right now. God, the move leaves my head. But regardless, you guys know what I'm talking about. So at this point, he's really beginning to panic. He really wants to kind of do some damage to me to mitigate the forward pressure that I'm now giving him. But it's not really going to work. I know at this point, due to how low his stamina is, it's a pretty easy finish at this point. He does go for a takedown, unfortunately manages to get it there, and I was very surprised that he did. It was kind of a panic takedown, and I just didn't manage to get the defense down quick enough. But fortunately, we managed to immediately make him pay for it by making him waste his stamina and spearing him to the ground with a huge spear takedown. Again, he was a little bit tricky, went into back control.
How's that stamina
or back
looking,
mount,
bro?
should I say.
How's
and
that
then
stamina looking? Huh?
And then proceeded to get
How's
out
that
again.
stamina
Again,
looking? It's not
he
even the
was
end of round one.
switching up his directions,
Not
making
even
sure
the end
not
of
to
round
use the
one.
same
You
exit
in a
every
rage quit
time,
yet?
which is always a good thing to do. I definitely do
rage quit
commend
yet?
him for that.
Huh?
But at this point, his stamina really is failing him.
buddy.
His gas tank is entirely empty, and he's just running on fumes. So it's at this point I decide, okay, the best thing would be to do is smack him down with a head kick. If there's one thing I like to do, it's variate things. If the biggest piece of advice I could give you guys after stamina work is variation. Mix things up. Make sure not to be too predictable. And in the fight, or at least this fight, I had not thrown a single head kick the whole fight. I had thrown a couple of kicks, but they had all been low. They had all been either to the body or to the leg. And apart from that, I had stuck solely to boxing. So when you do eventually go to the head with a strike and with the legs, they will hopefully 9 times out of 10 be expecting the body kick rather than the head kick. And from there you're able to get a beautiful knockdown just like I did. So we move into round 2. He decides to taunt to, I don't know, I guess kind of egg me forward a little bit, and it does work. Gets me to definitely come forward. Use a bit of frame advantage there to get off some very, very quick jabs. Rock him, knock him down. And from here, we can set about doing the ending motion, shall we say, of this fight. So we let him outstrike himself again, waste his entire stamina bar, and at this point we employ a little thing that I haven't shown you guys before, which is takedown cancels. And I employ this now and then to zap away as much stamina as I possibly can from that tiny little bar he has left, because once they've only got that little tiny bar, it's very, very tough to get them to lose any more of it unless they continue to strike themselves out. So I was looking for him to eventually do something like this, pull me into a submission, because it will waste his stamina attempting it and me escaping, which is exactly what happens. So from here, we block a couple of transitions to make sure we waste his stamina and get it drained as much as possible. Dig to the body a few times to really get damage done as well. Block another transition, and then make our own, and we go straight into the bulldog choke. From here, we go straight into bar number 2, and in bar number 2, he gets really, really, really close to escaping, but we just managed to get it. And then into bar 3, into bar 4, and finally bar 5 for the finish. And there we have it. I really, 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 really hope you guys enjoyed today's videos. If you did, if you could please leave a like and a comment and a subscription and hit that notification bell, it would be really, really, really appreciated. If you could follow me on Twitter at The Fight Queen, that would also be hugely appreciated. And catch me live on Twitch Mondays, Wednesdays and Thursdays from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. GMT, and again from 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. GMT. So with that said, guys, I hope you join me in tomorrow's video, but until then, see you guys later. Ta-ta. Anyway, yeah, that's about it. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Ta-ta.